Robbie Williams Rewind.
Welcome to Robbie Williams Rewind. We are the champions. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lucy.
And along with help from special guest fans, we take you on an in-depth rewind through the solo career of multi-award-winning singer, songwriter and entertainer Robbie Williams.
Today we're talking about Robbie's first greatest hits album, as well as the B-sides that appeared on the two new singles, Radio and Misunderstood. So today we've got our very good friend Sarah Finan with us.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, you?
Good.
Yes, very good, thank you.
So Sarah is English, but currently lives in America, so we're talking across the Atlantic.
We are indeed. How cool.
As if you're just in the room with us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's nice to be among Robbie friends.
Yeah, I bet. You don't get many in America, do you?
Not that many, no, right?
You can be as Robbie as you like on this episode, Sarah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be super Robbie, right? Yeah.
So I can't remember when we first met. I think it might have been, was it at Southampton on the Heavy Entertainment show? Or did we know you before that?
I think we knew each other before just from on the app and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
We hadn't actually met kind of like in real life face to
Yeah,
face, right?
probably, yeah.
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 But spoke a lot more. Yeah, so we met in Southampton, the Heavy Entertainment, in the rain.
Yeah.
And then we got interviewed. Do you remember? It was so funny for a local radio station.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but I'd gone to the toilet, so I wasn't.
You'd gone to the
We
toilet,
did.
yeah. And then you came back and we were all being interviewed like, with like our umbrellas and raincoats and yeah, it was so random but so funny. And then they shared a picture on their like Facebook website of
Yeah.
us and it
That's
was
right.
really bad.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God. But it's times like that it just make you laugh, right? And that's
Yeah.
what makes it.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the queuing up is just as great as the actual concert, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Meeting people and
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
catching up.
Yeah, I love queuing.
Yeah, I do.
There's a bit of pain involved as well, but it's mostly fun, isn't
Yeah.
It depends on the weather
Yeah.
and it depends on toilet facilities.
Yes.
it? Yes.
It was quite a trek to the toilets that day, so
Yeah,
that's why I missed being interviewed. So what made you a Robbie fan?
Oh my goodness. So it all started with Take That. When Take That first started, I can remember watching Do What You Like and thinking like, well, these guys look fun and different. Like, and then I just followed Take That.
Was Robbie your favourite?
And then in the beginning, I feel so bad saying this. No, he wasn't in the beginning. In the beginning, I was a Mark fan. With like Robbie close second, but then I think as I got older, I kind of got more of a type, right? And like Robbie was like more of my type, you know, dark and tall. And so I kind of converted to Robbie. It's quite ironic. So I was super excited about going to see Robbie in concert. And then he left. So that was, I remember going to Earl's Court with my dad, and you have to physically queue to get a ticket, right?
Yeah, we did
At Earl's
then.
Court
Yeah.
to get the take
Or
that
you could
ticket.
phone up, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to Earl's Court with my dad to buy the tickets, bought the tickets, and then he left.
Yeah.
And I remember being really gutted. That was 95.
Yeah.
hmm
And then from then is when I just I was like, so overtake that and just all about Robbie. That's when the obsession started. Yeah, and I just was fixated. Well, I guess I still am. I just love him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't go to many of the tours in the beginning because, you know, I was only young. And yeah, my first tour was well, not first tour, first concert was Nebworth.
Oh, wow.
And then that's where yeah, I didn't go to any of the really early ones. And then
It's not a
that's when
bad place to start,
Yeah.
Nebworth.
Oh my God, yeah. And then I remember that coming home from Nebworth and going on, oh God, it wasn't up front. What was it called? The first.
Oh, the blog kind of thing, or oh
yeah. Oh
yeah,
my,
he had
I can't remember what it was.
the Inner Sanctum.
Inner Sanctum, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so my mum and my friends came with me to Nebworth, and so did my mum's friend. And like I can remember, like we got there at like 8:00, and I can remember my mum, who was probably in her like early 50s. The gates opened, and my mum's like, "Run, run!" I remember like running with my mum and my friends like to get to the front because there was like the golden circle. So we got in the golden circle, which was great. And then after that, I can just remember going on Inner Sanctum, and then we booked tickets for. I've actually wrote this down. What was it? The Cock of Justice tour. And then we ended up going to France, and my mum came,
really?
and that's when
Wow.
it all just escalated out of control, right? So yeah, Robbie was my second favourite for a while, but then he took over.
Yeah.
First the worst, second the best. Not saying that Mark's the worst, but yeah. And now he's just like, I should have married him, but yeah, hi ho.
Oh, I
My
love
goodness.
that.
No, I love him. He's great, and I think he's just so good to all his fans, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
just
Yes.
like a friend, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, when
It's
he's
like
around.
he kind of understands us all, and he's kind of addictive, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say. So do you have a favourite song or album?
I love his swing stuff. I love Mixed Signals. I love Me and My Monkey. Speaking Tongues like cracks me up.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
8 Letters is one of my favourites, and I really like. I'm not sure if many people know it, The Long Walk Home. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah, so
one.
there's a few that's kind of different. Into the Silence, I love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all for
That's
kind
very-
of different reasons and like different memories. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, yeah. There's a few. I couldn't say right. This one is my favourite.
No. I think most people are like that.
I do think most people
Yeah.
are like that, actually.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow down to 1 or even 2 or even 3.
Yeah, or even 20.
Or even 20, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And have you
No,
got a
definitely.
favourite tour or show that you've been to?
Again, like just so many. Obviously, there's Nebworth. Then there was the St John's gig in the church. Were you guys at that one?
No, we didn't go to that one.
No.
Oh my God, that was just so lovely. Like being in a church, it was quite a small church. That was great. Then obviously I was lucky enough to be at the opening night of Vegas. That was super special. And then the Brit Icon,
Yeah.
So there's a few.
Yeah.
Most of them are like the one-offs rather than the actual tour.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the one-off special ones. But yeah, I think Nebworth was hard to beat, right? Because that was like his comeback, big comeback, yeah.
Yeah.
And were you actually front row for that, or did you stand a bit further back?
No, I wasn't front row. I was in the golden circle. I think I was about 8 rows back.
Right.
And like I remember like getting on this like random guy's shoulders. I've got a picture somewhere, and like he was there with his mate, and I was like, "Can I get on your shoulders?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like up on some guy's shoulders. I didn't know who he was, but yeah, yeah, that was great. And like the opening night of Vegas was just, I just felt so proud of him. Right?
Yeah.
It was just electric, right? So yeah, that was really cool as well.
Did you?
Another memory I've got of him was we went to Loose Women. I can't remember which one, but we were at the gate, and I said to him, "Hi, Rob, I'm moving to America." And he looked at me, he was like, "What? You're moving to America?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I'm going to be doing Vegas next year." And so that was like really special because he kind of like told me before it had even been announced. No one knew.
Yeah.
So I was stoked that he told me that.
Aw.
So yeah, that was pretty special.
Bless.
And then he's been around your house for dinner. And...
Yeah, but no. Oh my goodness.
So did you meet him in Vegas? Did you have a meet and greet ticket?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's super quick. Yeah, it's not like a meet
Yeah.
and greet.
No, it's
here
not.
it's just
No.
a quick kind of picture, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I had 2 of them, but he was like super sweet. He's like, "Oh, how's it going in America?" And like, yeah, it's just incredible how he remembers
Oh,
so
yeah.
much
I
about
know.
people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So many people who
'Cause-
remember so many things
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
He's actually got a very good memory. Not necessarily for lyrics, but certainly for us.
I know, isn't that the funny
Fans.
thing?
Yeah.
The amount of times that he forgets his lyrics, which is hilarious, which makes him, I think, right? And then we just sing for him.
Yeah.
And then he remembers everything about a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can remember very specific details about certain concerts and who stood where, and
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah. No, and it makes me miss it so much.
I know.
Like, where's he gone?
Hopefully he'll be back soon.
This is the year.
Yes.
Yeah, 2022. Big things are happening. Hopefully he's already recording the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for the movies. It's going to
Stoke,
just be great, right?
Munich,
Yeah.
Bonn. Not that we're going to Bonn, but yeah.
So this is a big question. What does Robbie mean to you?
What does Robbie mean to me? Oh my goodness, what a question. I just think a lot of great memories, right?
Yeah.
A lot of friends, meeting a lot of friends and lots of great memories. And just looking forward to things, knowing that you're going to be going in so many weeks, and just like happy times, like whenever are you unhappy, like queuing or being at a Robbie concert, like never. Unless you're just crying with happiness, right?
Yeah.
So just memories, and and he always says, like, we've grown old with him, and that's just we all have, right?
Yeah.
We've all grown old with him.
We're all old now.
Oh yeah.
I know, right?
Well, yeah.
I remember like just jumping on the bed with my friends to take that when I was 13, 14, and now 43. It's just like,
Now he's got a 25-year solo career. That makes you feel old, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
that's just crazy.
You're
isn't
talking
it?
even before that.
Yeah.
And I was always so concerned that he would never go out on his own and do it. When he left Take That, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Is this it, right?
Yeah, that's
and
what I thought.
then he did it. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing achievement.
Yeah. Kept us worrying for a few years in the early stages, didn't he? as to whether it would really, really continue, but it has.
So if you could ask him one question or say one thing to him, what would it be?
Oh God.
I mean, obviously you've had the chance to speak to him before, so you've probably said a few things already, but anything at the moment?
Oh my goodness. Like how can we get you to crack America?
Yeah.
That would be a good question.
Yeah.
Because I know that would be something really special for him. Like we need a plan.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'd say that to him. There's other things that I would say, but like what? Yeah. I don't know. That's such a big question.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have
think
to
a
answer
while
it.
about that. But
It's a challenging one, Sarah, because most fans that we speak to find that one difficult because they have actually chatted quite a lot with him and asked all sorts of questions. So it is a difficult one.
Yeah, if you actually, I guess if you haven't met him as much, then you might have like a burning question.
Yeah.
But I haven't really got a burning question that I would ask him. No, I don't know. That's really difficult. I might have to get back to you on that one.
But Robbie, if you're listening, Sarah's offering to develop a plan for the US domination for you.
Yeah, right. We can do this. Yeah. Oh, and I think that's just one thing that I would actually love for him, because I know it's like really important for him. As much as he comes to America to kind of like not be recognised and kind of come for a bit of a break from being recognised, I secretly think that he like really would like to break America. Right?
I think so as well. Yeah.
Still on the bucket list.
I think it's
I think he's a bit gutted that he hasn't deep down.
I think so too, definitely. But he's done all right.
Oh, yeah.
Not done badly.
Not bad.
So do you have any other great memories that you want to talk about?
I loved it when he gave me the crown at Loose Women. That was really cool. Yes, he had his robe on, didn't he? The crown, and then he walked down the middle, and he gave me his crown, and then Mandy the robe, and so that was like I was like, yes, I took the crown. And that was like a really cool memory. I actually did take the crown, and and I've got like in my wardrobe, I've got like a little area for Robbie, and the crown's still in there. So yeah, I love that. I love that I can say that I took the crown.
Yeah.
What other great memories? Obviously, the meet and greets and the opening of Vegas.
One of my favourite memories of you is you and Amanda at London Stadium.
Oh yeah, and he changed the lyrics to Sarah. That was brilliant. Yeah,
but also when
that was really
when he wanted to ask Amanda on stage, and Amanda didn't want to go up without you. She wanted both of you to go up, and there was the little argument about, well, I can't have both of you.
In London.
There's only one mask.
I know, that was in London. That was so funny. I know. Yeah, there was that as well. That was really funny. And he said, I think he said to Amanda in Amanda's ear, "It's not a panto." Like, but yeah, stuff like that's really funny. Yeah, I did like it in Southampton. That was cool. And like, I don't think there were many people there that he knew that well. So he kind of like homed in on us a lot more than normal, which was nice. Yeah. But yeah. One day I will be on the stage. That's the one thing I've not done yet.
There's a lot of people that haven't done
obviously
that.
Sarah has. Yeah, there's a lot, but you start to feel a bit like, when's it going to be my turn, mister?
I'm not sure I could cope with it.
I think you could.
No, all those people looking at me.
I would love it in Vegas. When he did it in Vegas, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
that was great. But like, we know so many people that have been up there, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's like he does usually pick familiar faces, right?
Quite often, yeah.
Yeah. So, that was really funny in London actually when Amanda went up.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we're going to talk about his greatest hits album. Released on the 18th of October 2004, Rob's Greatest Hits was number one in the UK for 4 weeks. 2 weeks when it was released, becoming the fastest selling Greatest Hits album ever in the UK at the time, and number one for a further 2 weeks at Christmas, when it was the Christmas number one album. It was the 61st best-selling album in UK history as of 2006, going 8 times platinum. There you go. Having already stacked up 16 top 10 singles and 5 number one albums in the UK alone, Robbie managed to shift a colossal 320,000 copies of the album in its first week of release. As he stepped into a new era, Greatest Hits turned out to be his fastest selling album ever, eclipsing Sing When You're Winning, his previous fastest selling album, by nearly 6,500 copies. Perplexed at the prospect of releasing a Greatest Hits album, he said, "I rarely, if at all, look back over my career." Well, apart from when he listens to this podcast, of course.
Greatest Hits was also number one in Switzerland for 9 weeks, New Zealand for 4 weeks, Portugal, Austria and Italy for 3 weeks, Spain, Ireland, Germany, France, Australia, Argentina and Colombia. It was the best-selling album of 2004 in Europe, going 5 times platinum, selling over 5 million copies. In the end of 2004 chart, it was number 3 in the UK and number 7 in Germany. It was the 5th best-selling album of 2005 in Germany and the 8th in Mexico. It was the 19th best-selling album of the decade in the UK, the 20th in Germany and the 9th in Australia, where it was the only Greatest Hits to feature inside the top 30 of the noughties.
The Greatest Hits included all of Robbie's singles except Freedom, South of the Border, It's Only Us, Kids, Something Stupid and Something Beautiful. Revealing 2 new tracks from Robbie's new writing partnership with Stephen Duffy, the album gave an indication of his forthcoming material and carried almost all the biggest hits from his previous studio albums. Stephen Duffy owes his first meeting with Robbie to another collaboration, the group Me Me Me, featuring Alex James of Blur and Justin Welsh of Elastica, who played on Top of the Pops in 1996. He recalled, "I first met Rob at Top of the Pops when I appeared with Me Me Me, and he was at number 2 with Freedom. I worked with keyboardist Claire Worrell in the Lilac Time, And she then also joined Rob's band, and she kept passing my records to Rob, and he liked them. That's where we got our musical relationship.
Stephen Duffy was a founding member, vocalist, bassist and drummer in Duran Duran. He went to school with John Taylor and created the band with John's friend Nick Rhodes. He left in 1979 before they signed with EMI in 1980. He also recorded as a solo artist and is the singer and songwriter for the Lilac Time with his older brother Nick. He created the band Tintin, who released Kiss Me in 1982, but it was unsuccessful. He then went solo as Stephen Tintin Duffy and re-released Kiss Me in February 1985, which reached number 4. Rob said, "In 2004, I was in the midst of my Morrissey phase. I think a lot of the lyrics on Intensive Care were kind of Morrissey-esque, or me trying to be Morrissey, and I'd seen a few Morrissey pictures in his younger days where he was doing kind of homoerotic by a swimming pool. It was a good visual, and so I decided to channel his homoeroticism for the Greatest Hits cover. You could look at it and think, that fellow really, really digs himself, but I was just copying Morrissey." He loves Morrissey, doesn't he?
He does.
I don't particularly. I'm not really a Morrissey fan.
No, me neither.
No, me as well.
No. And I can remember feeling like, I don't know, like I really didn't like Stephen Duffy for some reason.
Oh dear.
I just felt like, we need Guy, right? And yeah, I can remember feeling like really upset about this.
Oh,
It's so funny.
they have written some great songs together, though, him and Stephen Duffy. But it doesn't
Yeah,
really compare to
yeah.
the Guy Chambers era, does it?
No, not at all. No, and so I know we're probably going to go on to this in a minute, but so the two Stephen Duffy songs on this album are like Misunderstood and Radio, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And like, how different can you get?
Yeah.
To the rest of the album, yeah. Yeah, they are pretty different.
Yeah, but even like comparing Misunderstood to Radio, they're really quite different.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, they are. Very much so. Yeah.
Oh, and of course, we're going to talk about the
Yeah.
postcard, which was a cover of which he covered of Stevens as well. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So the Daily Records review said, charismatic, entertaining, talented, and top totty to boot, Robbie is the complete package in tight tiger pants. Love him or loathe him, there's every possibility that at least one Robbie Williams track will have made an impact on you. I think that's true.
Yeah.
The Daily Telegraph said, from the lumpen oasis pastiche of his pre-Angels beginnings to the still startling sophistication of his later midlife crisis trilogy Feel Come Undone Sexed Up, the amazing thing about Williams is his capacity to re-emerge endlessly cleansed, vital and apparently unharmed from the bonfire of his own vanity. It's actually quite difficult to say.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It's a bit like a tongue twister. Oh, good old Daily Telegraph there. Yes, he is a dreadful show-off, and yes, someone did turn the smugness level up to 11, but Williams has undeniably turned in some fine, pure pop moments in his 8-year reign as Britain's biggest male artist, and that was the Mojo in December 2004.
So during this era, Rob won Echo Awards for Best International Male and Best Music DVD for Nebworth. He was honoured with a special Nordic Music Award for being one of the best-selling artists in Denmark, Sweden and Norway. He was indicted into the UK Music Hall of Fame. He won 2 OI Mexico Awards for Most Records Sold by an International Artist and International Song of the Year for Radio. He was also nominated for Favourite Male at the MTV Asia Awards and for Best Male as well as Best Pop Star at the MTV Europe Music Awards.
And here's a great fact. Rob also featured as the voice of Dougal on the Magic Roundabout film during this period.
I thought he did it really well. Did you ever watch it?
I can remember it. Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah.
We'll have to put a link to that on the website. Yeah, if people haven't heard that. It's probably on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
His first biography with Chris Heath, Feel, was released on September 2004 and sold 19,000 copies in the first 4 days, shooting it straight to the top of the British bestseller list.
Excellent.
There you go.
So, moving on to the new songs. But before we go on to the new songs, is there any of the greatest hits that we've obviously talked about already that you want to say anything about, Sarah? Like, Angels or Come Undone or anything?
Let me think. I love Come Undone. Let me go on the back here. Let me get my album cover up. Lazy Days and Oh Before I Die. I loved Life Through a Lens, the first album, so much. I think I was just so excited that he'd brought out an album. And I can remember driving up to Leicester because my friends was at uni in Leicester in my little white Escort, and just having it on continually. So all of the Life Through a Lens songs, I just love them all so much because it just brings back so many happy memories that he actually brought out an album, right?
Yeah.
And I love The Road to Mandalay, Supreme, Let Love Be Your Energy. I love all of those. Obviously, I'm not as keen on Rock DJ. I don't know why.
Right.
I'm not too sure why. Rock DJ I'm not as keen on. And Millennium. I did like Millennium, but now I really don't like it. You know what? I was at work one day and there was a competition on, was it Tony Anstis? Heart? I can't remember what channel he was on. Heart, yeah. And this was well before I met Dave. So I was probably 23, I can't remember. And it was for a meet and greet. And I got through to talk to Tony Anstis. And the question he asked me was from what James Bond movies the background music for Millennium. And I remember being really mad because I didn't know. And I'm like, I'm a Robbie fan, not a James Bond fan. And I just couldn't. And so I didn't get it.
Oh, that is really annoying. Mad. Oh my God, I'd be annoyed as well.
It's not a Robbie question.
Yeah.
Was it
Goldeneye?
When I hear that now.
Isn't it You Only Live Twice?
Yeah, because we did it in that episode.
Because we did it in that episode, but I wouldn't have known it. I wouldn't have known it either, Sarah.
No, I didn't have a clue. And all of the other questions that I'd been hearing, I'm like, getting them, you're answering them like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get this. I'm going to win this. I'm going to get a meet and greet. And then they asked me that. So, yeah.
Oh.
That was a bad Robbie memory.
Oh, that's horrible.
But yeah, I would probably say out of all of them, my favourite would be the Oh Before I Die, Lazy Days, and The Road to Mandalay. I love that. It's just super catchy, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, the sample was from You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Millennium.
You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still wouldn't remember it even now. I feel like trying to shut it out.
Yeah.
But I remember that I was at work and I worked in kind of like a children's thing to where children are referred, and I was in the office with the door closed, and I remember feeling really naughty because I shouldn't have been doing it. And then I got through and I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't get into trouble. But then I didn't win. So
that was gutting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh man.
That's a good reason for not liking it, I guess. Yeah.
So you want to talk about radio?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So Radio was written by Robbie and Stephen Duffy, and this was one of 2 new tracks on the album and was the first single to be released on the 4th of October 2004. It reached number 1 in the UK, Portugal and Denmark, number 2 in Germany and Italy, number 3 in Austria, 4 in Spain, and 12 in Australia. It had first week sales of 41,732 to be precise in the UK and became a gold record in Australia.
In Feel, Rob said, I never saw this as a single. I've always seen Radio as an album track that's weird and great. Manager David persuaded him that Radio was eccentric and unusual, not a safe crowd pleaser, the perfect way to introduce Rob and Stephen as writing partners. Rob then started to see Radio and or Ghosts as possible singles. After listening to both, he exclaimed, You know, I'm quite happy for that to be the single, because it's fucking mental. I think kids will fucking love that as well. Not only is it just dark, mental, but kids are going to fucking buy that in droves. I just think they're going to go, this is ace, and you could play that song to anyone and they wouldn't say Robbie Williams.
He'd convinced himself of that, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Did the kids buy it?
Well, and
Well, it was number one.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't like it. It's just the weirdest, like, just weird. And I think that's why I wasn't keen on Steve Duffy as well, because I'm like, what have you done to him?
Ah.
I see.
Like, he's like, what have you done? Like, he's just, I just don't get it at all.
I really like radio.
It's just weird. That's all I can say.
It's certainly
I
very
remember you
different.
saying before. I just can't get my head around it.
It definitely, you know, paved the way for things to come, didn't it?
Yeah.
The difference.
Well,
Yeah.
to Sarah's point, as typical with Rob, there's a few stories about how this song actually came about. So, you know, let's find out whether it really was all Stephen Duffy's fault or not. He said that he was trying to find Axel F. You know,
yeah.
do you know that one?
Yeah,
Oh, right, yeah.
Hopefully, I haven't got to pay copyright for
doing that.
doing it. Doing it. He was trying to find Axel F on the keyboard before Stephen programmed a drum beat. He's also claimed it came out of trying to finish the middle eight of The Trouble with Me. With Rob playing some simple guitar chords, Stephen grabbed a guitar and followed. Stephen kept playing these chords while Rob came up with a stabbing bass keyboard melody. Eventually, Rob got frustrated. He couldn't play what was in his head, so he sung a melody instead for Stephen to play so that they could record his riff. These free-form words flowed from Rob, which aren't that far from the final lyrics. It shows in my attic, it's all Asiatic, it lives in my basement, I can feel the rodents, it's in my confusion, it's always on my brain. He calls on my Oscars, it makes all my engines go up, up, up. Up, It loves in the ages and falling awake on the Mismim line. And do it for you and do it for you, hey, hey. It's like the fault in my reason, summer's in the radio. Tune into the songs you know. Make it effervescent here. You can bring the song from here.
So
right. Maybe I should have done it in the style of Robbie there, but you know, it didn't quite work. But I got the gist of it.
Apparently the words that he first wrote. So he came up with those words, Sarah. So it wasn't all Stephen.
So there we go.
It sounds even worse when you read it. It actually sounds a better song.
But they weren't the final lyrics. A lot of them were, but that wasn't
that
quite...
was the sort of first draft, if you like.
Yeah, but they do sound absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Lucy, you're going to tell us what it's all about.
Totally bonkers.
Well, apparently it's about an entertainer going mad, and Rob completed the first verse but couldn't find any inspiration for the second, so he asked Stephen to do it for him.
Oh, okay.
So Stephen did write the second verse, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to listen to that again.
Rob performed it as the opening song on his Close Encounters tour in 2006. He then played it at the opening night of the Let Me Entertain You tour in 2015, but it was then dropped. Perhaps another casualty of his tendency to shorten set lists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he's like. Oh, I don't want to do that one. So I really liked it when it was the opening song on Close Encounters. I thought it was a really good opener instead of Let Me Entertain You, because it was wacky and got the crowd going.
No, I agree. It's a bit different. Yeah. I mean, I would always just like dance to it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's weird but kind of fun.
Yeah.
The beat and stuff. But it's just the words and like the video as well.
Yeah, the video's pretty nuts, isn't it?
Like, they've totally lost the plot kind of thing. Like, it's just
I think that's the idea there, isn't it? Like you said, it's about an entertainer going mad. So it's they've achieved it. If that's what you think about it,
they did. They certainly did.
It is crazy, and I do remember at the time we enjoyed it, didn't we, on that tour? But it was just, different.
Yeah.
Different. So different.
I'd love him to play it again now. I just think it would be really different because he hasn't done it for years. I think.
Yeah, it would be really, yeah.
I don't think you'd really enjoy it, Sarah.
Yeah, Close Encounters was, I'd try. Was that Milton Keynes?
Yeah.
Close Encounters? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Milton Keynes Bowl, because it was supposed to be at Wembley, but it ended up being Milton Keynes Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first concert that I took Dave to see Robbie.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is he a fan?
I think so. I'd only just met him, so I think he just came with me because he knew that I liked Robbie. But like, he came to take the crown, and that's been it, really.
Yeah.
So just a few first dates. Yeah.
Done. Yeah, right. Yeah, he won't. I don't think he'll come. Oh, he did come to the O2 when they did them three.
Yeah,
like
in the
gigs
round
in a row. Like, yeah, that's it. I'm so bad with all the names. And we were in a box, and like he was like, "I swear, I thought you was going to fall over the side, Sarah." It was horrible being in a box.
Oh.
But then the next night, I went back and I was at the barrier, so I made up for it. But yeah, he's been 3 times.
Okay, well, that's respectable.
Yeah,
it is. And I'm determined to get him to go to Vegas if Rob goes back to Vegas.
Oh yeah. That's got to be done.
Oh my God, it's just brilliant. So, but yeah, radio. I mean, can you imagine him singing that in Vegas?
Oh no, he wouldn't do it in Vegas.
How funny would that be? That everyone would be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, that would be entertaining.
I get the feeling you quite like it, Lisa.
I do. I really like it.
Why? Tell us
I
more.
think it's just got a good beat to it. It's just really funky and it's different, isn't it, to a lot of his other songs?
It is different, yeah.
And it's kind of one you almost forget about as well because it's only on greatest hits albums. It's not on like a normal album. And I'm not one to really put on.
Really thought about
the greatest
Oh,
hits.
yeah.
I don't really. I'll normally put on an album. I won't put on a greatest hits album. So I don't end up listening to it as much. So I kind of forget about it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Listen to it a lot more preparing for this.
Yeah. But one thing I have noticed is, he says, my performance is, would you say my performance is easy or something?
Yeah.
Have you noticed how he says performance?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
He quite often, he's noticed it himself because someone mentioned it to him on Instagram Live once and said, have you noticed how you say preform rather than perform? And he's like, yeah, I have. I have noticed that I do that. And I can't really remember what he said, but he just agreed that it is something he does. And it's just how he says the word.
It now.
Yeah.
A bit like Pacific and specific, yeah?
Yeah.
Not like that at all.
Yeah, right.
It's not that noticeable, but it's just a little thing.
Yeah, we'll have to listen out for it. And like Instagram Lives. What has gone on there? Where have they gone?
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
It is. It is sad.
Well, hopefully it'll all be back by the time this episode goes out in February.
Yeah, maybe he will have started again.
We may well be in touch again via the new website. So
he only smiles when he's got something to promote.
Oh, yes.
If you're listening, Mr. Robert.
It's a business, I guess.
Yeah. He's creating a vacuum at the moment, I think. Ready for a big comeback.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So yeah, another bit I like in this is the middle eight when he's saying ouch, 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 those bits.
Ouch. Yeah.
And the jumping, thumping, shout out something. Yeah, I don't know. There's just lots of bits in this song that I really like.
Yeah, the randomness of it is quite fun, actually, I think. And I like the way that he says, radio. It's longer than that, actually, but I just wasn't quite hitting the right note, so won't do that. But I do like the mixture of different musical styles in this. There's so many... there's like electronic and then there's sort of the 80s synth going on, different instruments, different sounds on the track. I mean, it's just, a bit crazy, really. And I also quite like, it's quite different. It's sort of spoken word, isn't it? When he starts, it's not He's not
Yeah.
really singing.
Yeah,
he's
it's a bit kind of
sort of
rappy, I
shouting
suppose.
at you. And then he moves into singing. And the big question I have for you both is, who has stolen Robbie's attic? In reality, he lives in his basement. But
Isn't it a monster? That's what I think.
what's stolen his attic?
Yeah, I feel like it's a monster that has got into his attic and...
Oh, yeah, he's chosen my attic. I feel it in the static. He lives in my basement. So he lives in the attic and the basement.
Yeah.
Right. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then it goes off on something else.
Monsters. He says about monsters in Please as
Yeah,
well.
he
About
does.
the monsters.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yes.
going through a bit of a phase about monsters.
Yes. I mean, the other thing I would say is he can't live in his basement because he never had that basement dug by hand in his London house. So there isn't a basement to live in. It may be an attic. Fans will get that reference.
I'm gonna dig a big hole. I'm gonna fill it with shit that I don't need.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
And
No,
he's
you
also...
might have converted me. I might have to go and listen to it after this.
Well, it's just random, when you as fans, we've always sung along to the songs, but you don't always look at the lyric sites. So when we're preparing for this,
No.
we're looking at the lyrics and we're learning new lyrics. I mean, stuff we've sang for years and we didn't know, like rude stuff as well that we've been singing.
Yeah.
We didn't know. He's also stolen his Oscars and traded in his jokes. I mean, who exactly is this person that Robbie's talking about? Is it his alter ego? Or...
Yeah, it's like an alter ego, maybe.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
It's like, difference between Rob and Robbie, maybe? Are we
Could be,
digging too deep there? I
actually.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All in all, I do like it. I think there's something really different about it. And it's, we're converting Sarah slowly, I can see.
Yeah, I guess fun but weird.
It's definitely weird, yeah. But it's fun, I think. So the video was directed by our favourite Vaughan Arnell, as always. Bouncing back into the public spotlight, Robbie was keen to project a new image, symbolic of his maturity and new writing material, in the electro-pop theme of the radio video. That's what it said on robbiewilliams.com. With random special effects, some disturbing coloured contact lenses, false teeth and a team of cheerleaders, Vaughan combined a bizarre mix of ingredients to create an ultra-slick new look for Robbie. He definitely looked scary, didn't he, with those teeth?
Yeah. In You Know Me, Rob said, I was reading a lot of David Icke stuff at the time, so I think a reptilian kind of motif was running through my head. And that came through in this video. To the uninitiated, David Icke reckons that the shape-shifting reptilians run the world. The Queen, royal family, MPs, big bankers. I think it was also at this point that I wanted actual vampire teeth. I was ahead of the curve by a few years. I was actually going to the dentist to have some long teeth added. Isn't that true?
This is what he said.
Okay. But Josie convinced me not to. At one point, I was going to shave my head and have fire tattooed on it. I can believe that. I was talked out of that too. It was a passing fancy. And there you go. So he really was sort of in very much in keeping with the song.
Losing it.
He was doing some weird, or thinking about doing some weird things. So what do you think about the video then, Sarah?
I mean, Christ, what was he doing? Like, he was going through a super silly phase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was expressing himself, I think.
Yeah.
The freedom after.
Very much so, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the video definitely suits the song, doesn't it? Very clever.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah. The wobbly head and,
Yeah.
weird teeth and eyes and all that.
Yes.
And the cheerleaders in it are incredible, aren't they? With all their throwing people up.
Oh, yeah, they keep
way up
chucking
into the
people about 10 foot up into the air and spinning around.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
I bet you see a lot of that. Where
almost
you are.
like a circus.
Yeah. And Vaughan did say that the cheerleaders were actually very young, but it made them look older when they gave them all fake tattoos and put masks over their eyes. They're probably all sort of 17, 18 or something, weren't they?
Yeah.
Generally, cheerleaders
Wow.
end up being young, don't they? But what I do like about the video is the gratuitous shots of Robbie with his top off.
Yeah, I mean, what did he have on? He had like an officer sort of uniform on or something, didn't he? That white.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it was part of the video to take the top off. I think
Matt doesn't think it was
it's just
necessary.
gratuitous.
I think it was pretty necessary.
Yeah.
Adds a certain dynamic for you, does it, Sarah? Although there was a good balance between the cheerleaders and Rob. You know, he likes a good female dancing troupe, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Feels a bit alone if he doesn't have that.
Oh,
And
he's always got like such gorgeous dancers, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He has. And the other bit that made me laugh is the trouser snake that
Oh my god!
It's out down the front, and then it goes out the back and then turns into a tail. That makes me laugh.
Yes. They were pushing the boundaries again there, weren't they, with that?
Yeah, especially if the girls around him were actually really young in real life. So should we move on to Misunderstood?
So it was written by Robbie and Stephen, and this was the second single released from the Greatest Hits on the 6th of December 2004. It made number 8 in the UK, number 3 in Belgium, number 7 in Italy, and number 8 in the Netherlands. In feel, it's described how Rob wrote this against some drums, saying, "It's a song about how great it is to be misunderstood. If they're talking about you, then it's great." Later on, he mentions that one of the ideas in his head is of the relationship between Woody Allen and his adopted daughter, Sun Yi.
At first, Rob decides it sounds beautiful, but both he and Stephen were confused by its lack of structure. Stephen worked on it some more, and Rob said, "I still don't get it. Which is the chorus and which is the verse?" He sung some new words, but couldn't shake his confusion, saying, "Well, you understand it, and I soon will. It sounds like a classic." Rob later said, "I'm trying to think along the context of, I'm trying to be misunderstood. The joke's backfired. It's like presenting yourself in a way that you know it's not you, thinking that's going to be good enough, and then it all falls to shit. It's thinking that you're above it all, condescendingly taking the piss. I'm trying to be misunderstood, and then realising the piss is being taken out of you." Stephen asked him, "Why are you trying to be misunderstood?" Rob replied, "Well, it's a double bluff, really." Still don't get it.
I don't. It's confusing.
I know. Do you, Sarah?
He's so complicated.
Yeah.
He's just so complicated,
Yeah.
right? And like I said earlier, going from radio, which is super crazy and nutty, to like misunderstood is very deep, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really quite opposite.
Yeah.
You always feel a bit. I love misunderstood, but I find it like it's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
I feel like it's coming from a sad place, right?
Yeah,
but I
it
really
is.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Well, if there's anything we've learned about Rob, particularly doing this podcast, he likes a good contrast.
Yeah.
So I think he enjoys
Totally,
the yin and the yang. Yeah. On the Show Off Must Go On documentary, which came out to promote the Greatest Hits, Rob explained that this was the most sensible song he and Stephen had written, and that it was another song about putting your heart on the line.
Many songs were considered as the first single off the Greatest Hits: Tripping, Radio, Ghosts, and A Place to Crash. But Misunderstood was always secure as the second single.
The song featured on the soundtrack to Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason, the sequel to Bridget Jones's Diary, on which Rob had performed 2 songs. Rob played it live while promoting the Greatest Hits in 2004, but hasn't played it live since then.
So, do you want to talk about Misunderstood, Sarah? What do you think?
Wow, I can't believe that he's not sung it since then.
I know, isn't
I
it
don't
crazy?
think I've seen him. I've never seen him sing. I'd love
No.
to see him sing it live.
Yeah, I would. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing,
I
wouldn't
wonder why he's never chose to sing that live. It's interesting,
it?
right?
Yeah. He obviously still can't get his head around it, maybe, even now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I really like it. I like kind of like the background music. It's like a little bit kind of like more country-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it has got
background.
that vibe, yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's got a beautiful melody and arrangement, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Maybe that could be one of the questions that I ask him.
Yeah.
Why haven't you sung that live?
Yeah. Yeah. You can really hear his
I guess-
vocals on it as well, can't you?
Yeah, I like it when you can really hear his vocals as well. And I think that's why radio freaks me out a little bit, because it's not as singy. It's like Matt said, it's more like talking, but you can really hear him singing in this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as much as he says he's not a great singer, when you listen to that, you're like, yes, you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're saying about like the country vibe to it. I don't think there's many of Robbie's songs that have such a distinctive harmonica sound. You know that?
Yes.
It's so distinctive in the few
Yeah.
opening bars of that track. I'm sure we've kind of all got used to it, but it's really loud and really clear. And I just think, it opens it up in a really interesting way, and it's got a great arrangement. I think the whole song's a little bit downbeat for my tastes.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike it for that reason. It's just got a bit of a downward sort of feel to it. And why on earth he's trying to be misunderstood, I've got no idea, like we said at the beginning. I mean, just don't understand that.
I think that something like Misunderstood would probably do well in America, right? Especially like in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, it was on the Bridget
can see
Jones
that it's
soundtrack, so you would have thought that they would have heard it.
Yeah.
But I guess not, because I did watch the film at the weekend.
Yeah, you did.
Because I wanted to see whether it was actually in the opening credits or the final credits as like the song, but it just appears within the film in a scene where Bridget's sad because she thinks Mark Darcy doesn't love her anymore. So it did actually fit in really well in the film because she was all sad and lonely, and and
that sounds like most of the
basically
scenes in Bridget Jones.
I feel like it sort of never really goes anywhere, this song. It sort of just stays the same the whole way through. It doesn't really build up to a crescendo or something. A lot of ballads kind of...
Yeah, I agree.
I guess that's what Robbie was saying. He felt like, where's the chorus, where's the verse? It's just the same throughout, isn't it?
Yeah, that is true. You can't really differentiate between the chorus and the verse that well, can you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just find it quite chilled and relaxing,
Yeah.
just mellow.
Yeah, I do like it. I did used to play it over and over in my car, this and Radio when the Greatest Hits came out. Just play those two on repeat because they were the new songs.
Yeah. It's quite unusual to have or is it? I don't know, two new songs on a Greatest Hits.
I think most people do that because it gives the fans who've already got everything a reason to buy.
Yeah, it's a clever
the
marketing
album.
ploy.
Like the secret,
Like you have to own it.
Yeah, the secret two at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So the video was directed by Julian Gibbs and was a playful take on scenes from Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason. Rob is interrogated by Thai police about suspicious items in his luggage and is presented with numerous items of Bridget's industrial underwear.
I watched it the other day. It's so funny.
Oh, you just can't beat Bridget Jones, can you? Misunderstood was the first video ever to be offered exclusively to mobile phone subscribers before being shown anywhere else. Interesting. I think the video is really funny and he looks great in it.
Yeah.
The talky bits at the beginning and the end are funny. The Thai police are interrogating him and they say distinguishing features and he says, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, oh yes, he does. Yeah, I watched it the other day and it is really funny.
Yeah. And he looks amazing, doesn't he? That green vest really suits him.
Yeah. No, it is really funny. You kind of want to tell the guys, back off of him, right?
Yeah.
Give him a break.
But then when you watch, there's an official YouTube of him making the video and it looks as though they had a great laugh making it with those Thai guys.
I bet,
doing the fight scene and all of that. They were just laughing.
It was hilarious. Yeah, it's good video.
I mean, and he did so well. Yeah, getting asked for him to kind of be on the Bridget Jones film, right?
Yeah,
Like crazy.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's
It's a
big.
huge achievement, right?
Yeah. Well, obviously he was on the first one as well. So
Yeah.
Have You Met Miss Jones and Not of This Earth.
Oh,
So
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So, you know, it's fitting that he was on the second one as well. But I don't think he was on the third, Bridget Jones's Baby. I can't remember.
I wouldn't have any idea. Not I just
don't
like
think
Bridget
I'd
Jones
watched the
films,
third.
but I wouldn't know.
I did see it at the cinema with my friends. It was okay. Not as good as the first two.
Yeah. I've not seen the third one.
But yeah, the other funny bit at the end where the guy, the officer warns him he could be there for a long time.
Yeah.
Rob says, "Oh, how long?" And then the guy says, "A millennium." And then he turns around to the camera and sings "Millennium."
It's so cheesy.
So cheesy, wasn't it?
I think it's like, I think they made that up. It looks as though it was added at the end.
Oh yeah.
And they were having a play with it, but then they left it actually in the film.
Video, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Cheesy.
Very cheesy.
It is
And
very
cringeable.
funny.
But it's a joke and it's Rob.
My main thing is that he looks good in it.
What I like is that I mean, obviously he's generally
Yeah.
like smirking and sort of just smiling and stuff in bits of it. Sometimes he's serious.
Yeah.
But there's points that the other actors, where's he supposed to be in, like
A Thai jail.
Thailand or somewhere? Yeah,
Yeah.
the other actors are playing it dead serious,
Yeah.
like properly acting. And I think that makes it funnier because he sort of sat there and then just starts singing while he sat there. It's just all a bit crazy, but good.
Yeah. So, should we go on to the B-sides now?
Yeah.
Yes. I had to revisit these.
Yeah, well, we did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not ones generally that I play as much as other B-sides.
It's an interesting set
No.
of B-sides that we're about to go through. So
Right.
let's see where we go with these. So the first one is Northern Town. And this was written by Rob and Stephen, and it was the B-side to Radio. So maybe I better let you two go first on this one. Who would like to throw some insults at
Shall we
this
go?
first?
You go first, Sarah.
I'm not surprised that Stephen Duffy was involved in this. That's all I can say. Like, it's just another really weird one, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like they just wanted to rhyme town with any other random words.
Yeah.
Getting down in the town, like kind of. It was just, when you watch like a really bad X Factor audition.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is that what it made you think of?
Do you not think?
Well, for me, I just generally I skip it when it comes on. I skip.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't bear
just no. It's just loads of rhyming words being sung like they want to be Oasis. He wants to be in Oasis. Like,
I feel like
Do you
it's
know
more
what I
like a
mean?
dance record. Like he just wants to be like a sort of early 90s like train spotting type dance track or something.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I'm not really a dance
just-
music fan.
It's hard to
therefore-
place exactly what genre it actually is because it doesn't really fit in dance or
Yeah.
trance or
Or
pop or
yeah, it's just
it's a bit of a crossover. It's a crossover.
it's just
There you go.
annoying. Am I allowed to say that?
Well,
yeah, just like a bunch of boys have sat in their bedroom and tried to write a song.
Sorry, Robbie, if you're listening. It's just it's
Yeah, sorry.
well, Robbie, I don't need to be sorry
Like-
because I'm going to surprise Sarah and Lucy by saying that I actually love it.
Oh God!
No, really?
I do.
Do you?
Oh
Um,
no!
Do you know, just doing this research, it's weird because it isn't one I would just normally play, but I've listened to it so many times in the past month or so, preparing for this, and it's grown on me. And when I said to Lucy the other day that I quite liked it, she was like, "What?" I I mean, it is weird. I've written down here, I like this word, a cacophony of noise at one point, because it's just like noise just going on.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Especially with that woman's slightly inaudible voice on the telephone at various points. If you probably haven't listened to it because it probably just annoys you too much to hear that. But there's this woman gabbling on in the background, and that's going on in the background, and that makes it quite sort of trippy and weird. And I could be wrong here, but I think one of the instruments in it might be the Indian sitar, because it's like ding, 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 it's a very different sound. It's not a normal guitar. I'm sure it's a sitar. But yeah, I don't know. The lyrics are a bit weird. I do agree, Sarah. But yeah, it's grown on me. I like it.
That's so funny.
Oh God.
I think, well, Lucy's, I mean, it isn't, as we said, it isn't dance, but there is a vibe to it that's a bit, some of the style reminds me a bit of Kula Shaker back in the day, you know, that kind of
Well, I quite liked Kula
Indian
Shaker.
vibe, but
generally I skip it.
it's a different one. Yeah.
And it's a skip for you as well, isn't it, Sarah?
So we'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe the less said, the better from us.
Yeah, like I just yeah, it's just different and weird.
Let's move on to 1974.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Written by Rob and Stephen, this was also a B-side to Radio. In Feel, Rob said that every time he saw his school crush mentioned in the song Lisa Parks, he would start rapping because he thought that she'd think he was cool. She probably thought I was an idiot.
I really like this song. This is like a precursor to the 80s, I think, the song on the Rude Box.
Which you really love.
Which I love. Because, you know, it's talking about his youth and all those different memories that he's had. It just reminds me of that for that reason. But when I was looking at the lyrics, I hadn't actually realised that he said child of the 80s, the Hillsborough crush. For some reason that washed over me before. But yeah, he does say that. What do you think of the song, Sarah?
I really like it. I think it's great, and I almost think that he's just like super proud to have been born in that era, right?
Yeah. Seems that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does make reference to it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People do often say that the 80s was one
fun.
of the best decades, don't they?
Well,
because it had the biggest range of music, didn't it, at that time?
Yes.
And lots of stuff happening.
Yes, I've got to wonder whether every generation thinks that their sort of teen decade was the one. But yeah, having grown up in the 80s, it was quite an eclectic mix of stuff going on.
Have you got any favourite lyrics in this one?
It's kind of really relatable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going to school during them times and, you know, and so, you know, a lot of Robbie fans are kind of around our age. So it kind of just really makes me smile. But as for lyrics, I don't know the song inside out. So,
No,
but it's very systematic about it. He makes reference to so many friends at school, doesn't he?
Yeah. I like.
Which I wonder if they've listened to that.
I know. That's what I want to know. Whether
cool.
this Lisa Parks girl has listened to it. She must know. And what she thinks about the fact that, you know, when she was at school, Robbie Williams fancied her, but she clearly had no idea who he was. And how does she feel about that now?
Yeah. Yes.
We might like search her up on Facebook.
Maybe he changed the name.
Oh, I don't reckon
Probably.
he would have done.
I
would
so.
Knowing what he's like, I think he would have just used her real name because he wanted her to know.
I don't think he would have made it up.
Yeah. I'd love to know what she thinks about it.
Contact the show, Lisa Parks. Let us know what you really think. Someone must know her. Come on.
Another line that makes me, well, it takes me back was when he says that girl in the fourth year that was up the duff, which is like a lyric in the 80s when he says that girl in the fourth year got pregnant and she was raised Catholic. Brilliant. It does remind me of being at secondary school, Catholic secondary school myself, and a girl in the 5th year getting pregnant. And she actually had to leave school. She wasn't allowed to be in school because it was Catholic school and no one was allowed to be pregnant in a Catholic school. Isn't that terrible that that happened? That she was basically thrown out of school for being pregnant.
Yes.
And clearly that happened at his school as well. And also,
I sometimes think that he should do more songs like that are kind of like more relatable to people.
Yeah.
Like, and memories that we'd all share together as well, because like it's great. And then I think there's this part in it where he says, "I've just got to grow up" or something. I really, really like that one.
It's kind of Britpop-esque, isn't it? This song, I feel. Got that kind of feel about it with the guitars.
Yeah.
Don't look for tomorrow today. I think that's a great line.
Yeah. That is a good line.
Live for today,
Live
basically.
in the moment. That's it.
And goodbye, dear Sunday. It's been fun. Now it's Monday. That's like a Sunday blues feeling, especially when you're at school. And the thought of going back to school Monday morning. Yeah. Oh, God. It never goes away, though, that Sunday feeling, does it?
No. Still there, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter how happy you are. I just like it. I think it's a really upbeat track with a simple storyline going through it, but a really meaningful sort of story, like you say, a relatable story, certainly for us. And the line I really like, it's just simple. Want to live forever, so far so good. You know? Obviously, if you're singing that line, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
You can't sing it, you won't have to worry about it because you won't be here. That line just tickles me. Just funny, typical Rob.
Yeah. It's showing his great storytelling ability, isn't it? He's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah. I love all his story songs. That's why I love the 80s and the 90s as well. So should we go on to the Do Me Now demo?
Yes.
Written by Rob, Boots Otterstad and Billy Morrison. This was a B-side to Misunderstood on the CD single. Rob has said on his app that this is one of his favourite B-sides.
Oh.
Do you want to go first, Matt?
Yeah. Interesting lyrics as always. If you're looking up the lyrics on Google, do go careful when you put in Do Me Now, because there's a few other songs written by different artists that are slightly more explicit than this one.
Oh.
I can't remember whose I stumbled across, but yeah. I think Rob does care, actually. You know, I find it interesting that near the end of the song we hear the lyrics, "I'm moving to the med, those cats know how to boogie, this pill's done nothing to me." And then near the very end of the song we hear a slightly different version, "I'm going to stay in bed, this cat don't want to boogie, the pills just pass right through me." Yeah.
I feel like it feels like a David Bowie song to me. Don't know why. He almost sounds like him in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's like basically a song about being drugged up and wanting sex.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right. And it's just really catchy as well, though, right? As much as the lyrics are just like totally crazy, it's still really catchy. And it's actually one of the B-sides that I remember. Yeah, because some of them you don't always remember, do you? But I remember this one.
Yeah.
And because it's just so catchy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they say, like, put the munchies down now, Scooby. That's that is all drug talk, right?
Yes.
That's the Scooby snacks and
And this E's done nothing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's to do with, like you say, just drugs and sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Lustful, drugged up sex.
Yeah. It seems like he's just interested in, like, not really listening to what the girl's got to say. He just wants her to do me now before he has to go and get on a plane.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And the elevate Bono, eliminate Rod. I like that lyric. That makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah, Rod Stewart.
Oh, his mates are Rod Stewart as well.
Well, he's mates with Rod now, but I think back then he wasn't mates with him because, he went out with Rachel Hunter, who was Rod's ex-wife. It's about 3 years after Rod and Rachel had broken up. But I found a news article where Kelly Jones from Stereophonics said that he was out drinking with Rod when Robbie walked in to this hotel in LA. And Rob had words with Robbie. Apparently they went off together and had words. And this was at the time when Robbie was seeing Rachel Hunter. So clearly Rod still had, I don't know. He was caring about Rachel, maybe.
Well.
Still.
Yes, I guess he understood Robbie's track record.
Yeah. But of course they're friends now because Ida and Rod's current wife, Penny Lancaster, were friends from Loose Women. So I guess they made up and now they've sung together. So that's nice. It's all come round full circle.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
Yeah.
I like it.
I have got one misheard lyric on this song where he says, her retort was just a passing thought. I thought he was always saying, hurry Todd, hurry Todd. I don't know.
Hurry Todd.
Hurry Todd instead of her retort. I don't know why. That he's just telling his mate Todd to hurry.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Random.
The beginning of the song's odd as well. Liberate a whale, liberate whales. I think that's because they wanted to back into somehow saying liberate males. I love his rhyming lyrics. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a fun song, isn't it?
One totally nuts. Yeah.
I wonder why he thinks of it as one of his favourites. I wonder what he likes about it, especially. He's never really said that I know of.
Well, it's like I said in my my sort of first bit of the review. I think he does care. He says, "I don't mind," and sort of, "I don't care,"
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Prosecute Gandhi, persecute God, elevate Bono," all that.
Yeah.
I think he does care.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm not sure that I don't know, just wanted to have drugged up sex, basically.
Yeah.
But then did he really?
Well, yeah, and I think as well, like when he was writing all of these, he wasn't in the best place in the world, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd say.
Yes.
And you can kind of tell by the songs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was drawing from that place that he had been in or was in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we move on to Please, Please?
Yeah.
So this was written by Rob and Stephen and also appeared on Misunderstood. During its recording, he told Stephen he refused to sing a word like hullabaloo. Okay. Another song about death. Stephen said, "We certainly had to cut out at least 75% of the references to death because it was getting a bit dark on the album." Rob said, "Yeah, there's a heavy theme on this album and it is death, and I got a bit worried about it because obviously the last couple of albums that were primarily about death were probably Biggie Smalls' Life After Death and the Tupac one, which are obviously these albums which have become self-fulfilling prophecies." See why he's worried about that?
Yeah. So.
What do we think?
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Sarah? Please,
Yeah,
please.
this is like, it's a deep one, right?
Yeah.
This is the one where he says about the monsters messing with my head again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's another like monster song, right?
Or is it Ghosts? I don't know.
And he's saying about like the lights.
Yeah.
They're turning the lights.
I love
the
that
lights
bit.
on and off.
They're playing
and-
off and off and off with the lights.
Yeah, and then he's saying about like make me a lunatic, but I'm all right, and it's
Yeah.
it's kind of mental, right?
Yeah.
Like it sounds like I don't know. It's like he's in like a really bad place.
It's a really uplifting sound, but it's like a scary theme, isn't it?
Yeah, like the demons and
Yeah.
yeah.
And considering that you two don't like radio,
Yeah, it's-
well, no, you don't. It's not you don't like radio.
I like radio.
You were saying about the way he talks. It's sort of like there's scary monsters. It's a bit.
Oh, it's a bit radio.
It's not
Yeah.
the same, but similar kind of talky bits.
Yeah.
Rhythmic talky bits.
Yeah. Okay, isn't it until you actually read the lyrics, like sit down, look at them properly, and you're like, oh my God, really? Because
Yeah.
when you're singing it, it doesn't seem as kind of deep.
Exactly.
But when you read
Yes.
them, it's like, wow, that's really deep.
Yes,
yes.
exactly. Yeah. The my favourite bit's "Oh, You're Breaking My Heart." I just love how he sings that. But yeah, it's very emotional. But the way he sings it, I like that.
It's got quite a spooky beginning. Again, when you listen to these more and more and more, you realise it's like I can't really even describe it, but it's like a child's toy or a music box chiming away just before the song gets started.
Is there?
See, Lucy's
that.
looking in disbelief as if I've got that wrong, but there is. And then, "Diz up the lights." That's a bit of a weird lyric as well. Obviously, Robbie's talking here about death again. All the things you do when you're dead. I started thinking maybe I was dead too.
Yeah.
I don't think it says "Diz up the lights" because I read that on one of the lyric sites. I think he actually says that just isn't polite. So instead of "Diz up the lights," that just isn't polite. That's what I think it says. They're playing off on off with the lights without permission. That just isn't polite. That's what I think he says.
That just isn't polite. I have to go and listen to that again.
Because diz up the lights doesn't mean anything. But I think he's
well, apparently there is a
No.
word that's "diz," but it doesn't seem to fit. I
Yeah.
did look it up.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just funny saying the monsters or the ghosts are messing with his head, and it's not very nice of them.
I just find there's something quite satisfying to singing along with the "please, please."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's something nice about singing along with that. And then I love the line, "Oh, I'm so scared with knowing there's no one or knowing there's somebody there." Again, I like the irony of that, knowing there's no one there, but knowing there's someone there.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's kind of scary.
So is there someone there or is there no one there? Both are scary because if there's no one there, it means we just die, and that's the end.
Oh, that's how you're reading.
That's
that
how I
line.
read
Oh,
it.
okay,
But if
that's
there is
deep.
someone there, then that's also scary because it means we're surrounded by ghosts. So both are scary, whether there's someone
Ooh.
there or not. That's how I.
Lucy's
Yeah.
taking it to another level for me there, Sarah. What do you think?
I think there's a bit of a pattern, like with these like B-sides, like, they're just so deep
Yes.
and these really kind of, other than radio, but the rest are like, either like reminiscing or talking about, I'm so sad and the monsters and like,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder kind of how he was really feeling.
Yeah.
So I know like he wrote like 50 something songs to go on this album, like the B-sides, and then he's chose this really sad, deep ones where he's reminiscing about the good times and where was his head
But then Stephen
around
said
that time.
that they had to get rid of 75% of them because they were all about death. So if this is what we're left with,
Yeah,
what
on
are the ones
earth
that
was
he
it like
left
before?
out?
Yeah,
What were the others?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of songwriters.
there is a pattern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of songwriters use their craft and their songwriting as a bit of therapy. And I think he was exploring demons and death by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Definitely was at that time. Yeah.
Totally.
Pouring it out into the songs.
Yeah.
But we like it, don't we?
Yeah.
Even though it's spooky and strange. So should we talk about "I feel it, but I can't explain"?
Yeah.
I feel it, but in brackets, I can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Written by Robin... I'm only saying that because I haven't really got anything to say about it.
Oh,
but
okay.
written by Robin Stephen. This was also on the Misunderstood CD single. And that's the extensive research for
Yep.
that one. There you go. What do you think?
This is almost feels like two different songs to me, this song, because the beginning is all upbeat and happy sounding, and then it changes from slow down feelings, Loved Up With You. It goes all slow and weird, and it's like a different song completely.
Yes.
I totally agree.
It's like the beginning he's high on drugs.
Funny
and
how
then-
it does that.
Yeah. I think he's like high on drugs at the beginning, and then the end of the song is the come down, and it's all going downhill. So it's all slow and weird sounding. That's what my interpretation is.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're like in the slowy bit at the end, it's I can't feel my legs, I can't feel you on my back and leaving you, falling down, feeling this. Monday morning I feel out of sorts. It's like all the excesses of the weekend. Dried up and dreaming, punching and screaming, feeling the morning through. Yeah. That's what I think.
Good.
Well, yeah, and then he says like, then there's 10 in front of me, and it's like about all I see is butterflies.
Yeah.
So that's when he's kind of high, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the tone does totally change.
It's clever, really, isn't it?
It is. I mean,
punching and screaming, feeling the morning though.
Yeah.
Obviously a very stupid question to ask on my part, but what on earth is this song all about? I mean, you two have just summarised a few bits for me there with the butterflies and things, but they say, "Are you prepared?" And I say, "I do not know." And now there's 10 in front of me. 10 what?
I think he's like
People?
having visions or something.
I see nothing but butterflies and tests I did not know. I mean, what tests are we talking about there?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
So probably a stupid question for me to ask, as with many Robbie songs, but what on earth is this song actually about? I mean,
I think drugs, basically.
well, yeah, you two've cleared up a few things for me there, but just the lyrics. They say, "Are you prepared?" And I say, "I do not know." And now there's 10 in front of me. I mean, 10 what?
Yeah.
People?
Women? I don't know.
Demons?
Lines?
Butterflies? I see nothing but butterflies and tests I did not know. What tests are we talking about?
Yeah.
Is it school?
Yeah.
Could be.
I guess overall it's about having those feelings that we can't really explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Lucy. I mean, that final part of the song just slows right down. It feels totally different to the first. But one good thing about this song are the ending doo-doos. They're good.
Oh, yeah, that bit, yeah.
So, yeah, those are the doos. Not bums, doos. Okay. Anyway.
Very nice.
Okay, let's talk about Chemical Devotion. It was written by Rob and Nick P. Lashley. This was on the DVD single of Misunderstood. There's a video of Rob on a photo shoot for the Come Undone CD single cover, singing Chemical Devotion whilst jumping on a trampoline. The YouTube video is called Robbie Williams' Escapology, Here We Go Again, if you'd like to see him singing it. So Nick P. Lashley is a UK session guitarist who worked with Alanis Morissette for 7 years and has written with The Struts, Kaiser Chiefs, Ronan Keating and Natasha Bedingfield. So Chemical Devotion. What do we think of this one? Sarah, what do you think of Chemical Devotion?
I kind of like it as a song, but again, it's about drugs, a lot of drugs.
Yes.
A lot of drugs, right?
Yeah.
And just like another very deep song, you know, it's in the black sick and the choking on the blood and your tears.
I know, that line really got me.
Yeah, it's graphic and like quite sad, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
I find it like a bit much, really, the lyrics in this song.
Yeah, shallow in the deep end, got steep my sweet dysfunction.
Watch me out of my gates, ill-advised, unprepared. No one gave a shit when nobody cared. It's really, dark.
It is really dark.
Yeah.
It's the interesting bit about the go get me cigarettes, watch the circus pass by.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting. Yeah, watch the circus pass by. Do you think he means like watch me pass by his being the circus by behaving the way he is, right? Maybe.
Yeah. Could be that, yeah.
I think it's Robbie writing and singing from deep experience here, you know, sex, drugs and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Out of control, but I'm still alive, all back to mine, you know, Chemical Devotion. I love the rock vibe to this song. And as you've both said, there's a very dark side to this song. deep, and but it's written in quite a jolly, upbeat way.
Yeah.
And I think, but it's it's about something that has the power to ruin him or even kill him, and it's a bit scary in that respect. But, yeah.
Has he ever spoke about this song before?
I don't know.
I'm
if I have heard
don't
him
remember
talk about it.
hearing him talk about it. No.
No.
So it's got me to like thinking about some of these like B-sides that would be really like cool to sit down and like interview him over them.
Yeah.
To get his view on all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be really cool?
Yeah. To really, really hear him talk about them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it might be really hard for him as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yes. Especially with
that's a deep, deep song.
Yeah.
But when he says two's up on an eighth, I had to look up two's up. Apparently, it's a Yorkshire
Do you want to share?
Yeah, basically.
Do you want to share? Getting drugs, right?
Yeah. So basically, an eight is obviously drugs. So yeah, do you want to share some drugs?
Yeah, I would that'd be a really interesting conversation to have with him. Kind of like, tell us about this song.
Yeah, God. Yeah.
I've said this before, and I will say it again, though, Sarah. The challenge with that is Rob has the ability to give multiple different answers to the same question, even with us sometimes.
Totally.
And so, sometimes you don't know whether he's playing or whether he really knows. Or so, but yeah, we should still try. When we get back in touch again, we'll find out.
Ask the questions. Yeah,
totally. I'm looking forward to him acknowledging that he's listened to some of these as well. And if he is listening to them, hearing us talking about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
He will be.
At some point, maybe.
Sure,
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, right. So should we move on to talk about the postcard?
Yeah.
This song was written and released by Stephen on his album I Love My Friends on the 27th of April 1998. Rob covered it as a B-side to Misunderstood on the DVD single. The song is about Stephen coming across a forgotten photograph of himself with a girlfriend who'd since died, and he mourns her afresh.
I love this song.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice. I didn't realise that the Kimberly was about Stephen's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I just presumed it was Rob's.
Yeah, I did for a while until I actually realised that Stephen had written it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And I love the bit that says, "Whilst you're away, I took Debbie to the Crown."
I know, I like that bit.
The Crown.
Take her down the pub. I love it.
You really feel the emotion in this song, don't you? You can really,
definitely.
Oh yeah,
the pain and stuff, and it must be.
But then the tune is quite upbeat. It feels like a happy tune, but sad lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful, isn't it? I just love the simplicity of it with the acoustic guitar. And what I find interesting is that Stephen says that he and Kimberly didn't drink a lot or even smoke. So therefore it seems it must have been a shock to hear that she died of an overdose.
Yeah.
Which is why he thinks that the mum must have been talking about a different Kim instead, Yeah, very sad. I wonder if her family have heard it. I guess they have, because I guess it's
I would have thought so.
True.
Yes,
right.
It is a sad song. I listened to the original as well. Listened to Stephen Duffy's original, and it's very, very similar. Simple acoustic guitar, and Rob sings it in a similar way. Obviously, he's got a bit more of a raspy tone to his voice. Stephen's voice is quite sort of smooth.
Yeah,
and he sings it. And also Stephen's original includes a little harmonica solo. So now I know where the harmonica solo came from in
Misunderstood.
I was talking about that earlier on. So, but yeah, like you say, it's quite a sort of sad song. It's about losing touch with people and then losing touch with someone and then hearing that they've died. That must be especially hard hitting when you work at once close to that person, like Kimberly. And there's a really ironic line that just stuck with me. I didn't write your songs when we were going out, so why should I start now? You are not about.
Yeah.
Very ironic considering
He's
it
now
is a
has
song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it was an ode to Kimberly.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? That like you like a sad song, right?
Yeah.
It's a really sad song, but I really like it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I
It's a
think-
really beautiful song,
yeah.
really is.
Because you can just, I think you just like it because you could feel the love that he once had for her coming through in the song.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, the story behind it is kind of like he's almost singing like a movie, like a story,
Yeah.
just in like one song.
Yeah.
Very clever. Yeah. I
It
can
is
see
really clever.
why Rob would want to work with Stephen, having heard this song. If this is the kind of thing that he heard that made him want to work with him,
Yeah.
it explains it.
Yeah, I did actually start clicking onto a few other Stephen Duffy songs, but I didn't. I sort of listened to a bit of one, but I need to go and explore a few more.
Yeah.
But a bit different to Rob's.
Well, and this is like what I'm saying about misunderstood, compared to like radio. This is so extreme to like radio, like it's so real and so emotional. And then there's radio, and it's so interesting, how different they are.
Yeah, it is.
Good songwriters, though, I guess. They can kind of write so diversely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So, shall we talk about It's Still Lovely?
Yeah.
I love this.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
It's Still Lovely is one of Cole Porter's hit songs, originally appearing in his 1936 musical Red Hot and Blue. It was later used in the musical Anything Goes in 1956, and it's been covered by Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga for their collaborative album Love for Sale in 2021. Described by director Irving Winkler as a musical love story, the DeLovely film is an original musical portrait of American composer Cole Porter. Filled with unforgettable songs, Robbie featured alongside a host of other artists who helped to bring Porter's music to life.
Starring as the singer at the Porter's wedding, Robbie sung the classic track It's Still Lovely. He sung the song pretty much as it was first written in 1936, but there seems to be some new verses added to the end, from the knot is tied and so we take a few hours off to eat wedding cake through to the end. Those don't seem to appear in any other versions of the song that I can find, so I guess they were written to tie in with the wedding scene that the song appeared in, but it's not clear who wrote them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Rob said, I grew up listening to this music. My dad's a big fan of Sinatra, Martin and Bing, so I know all the songs, but I never knew who wrote which one. Now I know many of them were Cole Porter. I feel at home when I hear and perform these songs. I hope the film brings another audience back to these songs because they should never die.
He also said,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. I chose DeLovely because it's self-effacing and full of satire, if you look into it, and apparently Cole Porter never took himself seriously and was an insecure songwriter, so it's a real push for me to play this part. It's turned out amazing. I'm happy with my performance on it, and the band are amazing. You can't fail with stuff like this. I've done it before, and I shall do it again. I get a bigger kick out of singing this stuff than I do my own. I think because you're allowed to be more theatrical because it is from that era where your movements are bigger and your expressions are bigger. And I suppose in the music scene today, you're not really allowed to do that too much because you're supposed to take yourself seriously.
He always breaks that rule, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Highly stylised, visual and very musical, DeLovely spans almost 40 years, jumping from Paris to Venice to New York to Hollywood, and includes over 30 of Porter's songs. The film was released on the 1st of October 2004. The film was going to be called DeLovely, then it was just going to be called Just One of Those Things. Then Rob suggested to the producer that it should be called DeLovely again. While recording his vocals for the soundtrack, Rob didn't know the song to begin with and struggled with the first take, but got better by the second. He breezed through it by the final take. On
the actual film set, it was obvious Rob didn't know the words the first day. He had no way of cheating or bluffing his way through it like he usually might, like getting the crowd to sing it.
Yeah.
The producer had a severe word with David and Josie. They rapped for the day as they knew they were not going to get what they needed and didn't want to make the actors waste their time. Rob told director Irvin he'd have the words by tomorrow. He was shot from behind on the first day, but it would be face on the following day, so Rob had to know his part. He said it felt weird that all eyes were on the actors rather than on him. It's a bit like kryptonite. If you don't look at me, I can't do it. However, on the second day's filming, he nailed the song and felt happier because it was more about him as he was facing the cameras this time.
Rob also performed this song on Jay Leno's show in 2004, which is available on YouTube if you want to check that out. And there's some videos of him performing on set on Rob's official YouTube channel. What do we think about The Lovely then? Should we start with Sarah?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's great. I love it because I just love all of Rob's swing stuff.
Yeah.
It's just such a happy song, right?
Yeah.
You just want to kind of get up and dance. And I love the fact that he's just kind of put delightfully and delicious together and made the lovely, because I use the word lovely all the time, and like the lovely is just awesome word, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's just a really happy song. You can tell that he's like super happy singing it, you know, after going through all of the songs that we've just been through, right?
Yeah.
You know, kind of over like drugs and depression and looking back and monsters, and it's like it's a nice one to kind of to talk about right towards the end.
Yeah, it is.
You can see he's so happy like singing it, and you know, and it's not about him.
Yeah,
it's somebody else's song, and like you've just said, I think he sometimes feels a little bit happier singing other people's songs, because then, well, not as much now, but in the past he can kind of step away from what he's going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites. I love it. I just love all the swing stuff. So yeah, it's super fun and cute, and I love the word "the lovely."
I like how they put lots of, you know, D words together: delightful, delicious, delectable, delimit, deluxe, and then obviously "delovely," which isn't a real word.
It's not a real word. It so should be.
Yeah,
should be. Yeah.
And I like it that when they say the tin pantithesis of melody, which isn't a real word either. Just, you know, it's just fun, isn't it?
It'll be hard to sing that, actually.
Yeah. Apparently, the tin pantithesis is an antithesis of a melody, so opposite of a melody, and it sounds like someone banging on a tin pan. So tin pantithesis. I don't know. That's what someone says on the internet.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cole was obviously a great lyricist, wasn't he? Because the lyrics in this are so good. So you can see why Rob admires him. Admired, I guess, because he's not around anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I'd love to see him sing this live. It would be just the best, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. He's never sung it on tour, you know, on the swing tour or anything. Or even, you know, in Vegas.
I guess it's probably quite an acquired taste, even though it is a swing song. It's quite a specific sort of, because it's a bit eccentric, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit out there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, don't get me wrong, but I just wonder whether that might be why, you know, you might not think it goes down very well in an arena or a stadium.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind you, if he had the setting and if he had the dancing girls and, you know, the orchestra and stuff behind him, I think it probably would work.
Yeah.
I think
yeah, maybe Vegas it would work, right? I think they'd be all over it.
I think they would in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He looks amazing in the actual film when he's singing it. He looks perfect for that part, you know, in the tux with the gelled hair. You know, it's like it was written for him, that part. But they don't show enough of him. That's my only complaint.
No. Actually, for the first half, at least of the song,
you can't even
you can
see
hear
him.
it in the background, but they're in other rooms from where the party's actually happening, aren't they? Yes. Well, I think it's a classic song, De Lucy and De Sarah. Obviously, that's terrible. Sorry. Obviously,
I love that.
It suits.
That's going to be our names now.
It suits his swing voice and style, like you say, and also notice he's actually singing an American accent here. So he does. Obviously, that was part of the direction.
Yeah.
He does sometimes change his voice a little bit, but you don't often hear him singing an American accent unless he's singing the swing numbers, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a classic. That doesn't work, does it? Performance from De Robbie. De Robbie.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. We're just going to do that all the time now. Are you going to the concert?
Yeah.
Are you going to be in the queue? Oh my god!
So should we go on to the?
It's a positive song on this B-side, right?
Yes. Very much so.
Like the only one? No, I'm only joking.
Well, it kind of is in this group of songs, isn't it? They've been fairly depressing.
Yeah.
You know, great tunes.
Morbid, a little bit morbid.
Yeah, but morbid. Yeah, that's the word for it. Yeah. So the final song on this episode is Band-Aid 20. Do They Know It's Christmas?
Yes. So written by none other than Bob Geldof and Major, this version included vocals from Rob, Daniel and Natasha Bedingfield, Dido, Justin Hawkes of The Darkness, Tom York and Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead, Chris Martin, Bono, Paul McCartney, Tim Wheeler from Ash, Busted, Dizzy Rascal, who was the only artist to add new lyrics to this version, Miss Dynamite, Neil Hannon, Tom Chaplin from Keane, Will Young, Sugar Babes, and more.
Yeah, I couldn't list them all. The list just went on and on and on. The song was recorded on the 14th of November 2004 to benefit Sudan's troubled Darfur region. The single became the UK's biggest seller of 2004, as well as the Christmas #1. It sold 72,000 copies in the first 24 hours when it was released on the 29th of November 2004.
Oh, my birthday.
Yeah. And went straight in at #1.
I wasn't born in 2004, just for anyone who wants to fact check that.
And went straight in at the #1 on the UK singles chart on the 5th of December 2004. The CD version sold over 200,000 copies in the first week and was the fastest selling single of the year. It stayed at #1 for Christmas and the week after, a total of 4 weeks, 1 week shorter than the 1984 original. It was the last single ever to sell 1 million physical copies in the UK.
Bono and Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. The last one. Bono and Paul McCartney were the only artists from the original Band-Aid to lend their voices to Band-Aid 20. There was a reported dispute over the line, "Well, tonight, thank God it's them instead of you," which Bono sang on the original version. Both Robbie and Justin Hawkins of The Darkness laid down a version of the line, but Bono allegedly insisted on re-recording his version, which was eventually used on the record. Pesky Bono. The music video was first broadcast in the UK simultaneously over multiple channels, including the 5 UK analogue terrestrial channels at 5:55 on the 18th of November 2004, with an introduction by Madonna.
So, what do we think of this version of Do They Know It's Christmas? Matt, do you want to go first?
Yeah, why not? I think it's an absolute Christmas classic for an incredible cause. Love it. And I like the new version. I like the old version. I think they're both brilliant. I love the video of it. I always find the headphone wearing styles quite interesting. I know it sounds a bit weird on these charity tracks. You know, you've got them recording in the studio. Some have got both headphones on, one headphone on the top of the head, headphones underneath the chin, holding one headphone to your ear, selectively moving one headphone to your ear every now and again when there's music playing and everything in between. I don't know why, but I pick up on that. And on Robbie Williams Rewind podcast, we prefer our headphones firmly over the top of our ears in the correct position.
Well, only because Matt tells me I have to have it like
I
that.
know that you like that in-depth analysis of headphone wearing there, but no, brilliant track. And Robbie really should have got the line that Bono sang, but he's still good in it, isn't he?
Yeah, his bit's really recognisable. It's Robbie.
Yes. Yeah, I like it, yeah.
Sarah?
Okay, so I can remember hearing about this and Robbie being in it and being so excited.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted him to be doing the introduction. I don't know why, for some weird reason, that Chris Martin did. But I think you're right, Lucy. When he starts singing, "But Say a Prayer," it's perfect.
Yeah, it is.
It's perfect, and it gives you goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
It's a perfect line for him. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Christmas song for such an amazing charity, right? You can't not love it.
Yeah.
And I remember my mum and everyone, not as good as the first one.
Oh God.
Yeah. They're all as good as each other, It's a charity, just
Exactly.
But when you say about all of the old people back then, not old people, but the old pop stars, you forget, don't you? About the sugar, what they call the
Sugar Babes.
Oh my goodness,
Will Young.
the Sugar Babes and Dido and Daniel Bedingfield.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it?
It's crazy.
But Robbie's still going.
But I'm pleased that Bono was still in it. But I just get goosebumps when Rob comes on and just sings that line. It's amazing.
It's interesting because Robbie's part, obviously, he recorded it in LA, and clearly he's the only person that wasn't actually at the studios where they recorded it. Because I think everyone else is in the group shot except for Robbie.
I think he had his headphones.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think he had his headphones on or not, whether he wore them properly, but
I don't know.
to check that.
But most of the time, they always play the original. You very rarely hear them play this version.
Yeah.
I know. I wish they would a little, right?
Yeah. And I quite like Dizzy's extra bits as well. His little rap bits that he says. What is it? But I can't remember.
Oh, good fact there, Liz.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want me to get the lyrics out?
No, it's all right. And people know what I mean.
But when you put the Christmas channel on at Christmas, you will generally get the original version, won't you? Not the new version. Yeah. And what does Dizzy Rascal sing, Liz?
Oh, shush, I can't remember his actual lines.
But you love it. Lucy loves a bit of rap, Sarah. Did you know that? She loves rapping.
I prefer rap music to dance music, generally.
Were you guys R&B or dance?
Dance
back
for
in
me.
the day.
Me dance. Lucy probably neither.
Yeah.
You say.
Yeah.
I don't know, really. Yeah, neither.
We were a little bit of both. Me and my friends were like, with a little bit of luck, we will make it through the night. We're a bit of both. This is nothing Robbie related, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were a bit of both.
So yeah, that's the songs wrapped up for this episode.
Yeah.
We've just got a little chat about Live 8, which happened in 2005.
So yeah, following his Weekends of Mass Distraction tour in 2003, Rob didn't play live anywhere until his outstanding performance at the Live 8 show in Hyde Park, London on the 2nd of July 2005, nearly 2 years later. Live 8 was a string of 10 simultaneous benefit concerts timed to precede the G8 conference held in Scotland. It coincided with the 20th anniversary of Live Aid. It was run to support the Make Poverty History campaign and the global call to action against poverty. A DVD of the event was released on the 7th of November 2005. Rob began his set with Queen's We Will Rock You, stating he wanted to bring a bit of Freddie back from the original Live Aid. He also sung Let Me Entertain You, Feel and Angels. He also worked some of the Killers' I've Got Soul But I'm Not a Soldier refrain into his set, after the Killers' own set had been cut to only one song. Many people's set got cut due to the timings. That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, but Robbie got 4 songs, so I was happy.
He got some airtime, no problem there.
In a BBC documentary about the event, Richard Curtis described Rob's performance as ecstatic, comparing him to a man who hasn't had sex for 2 years finally coming. David Baddiel likened the set to Queen's iconic performance at Live Aid in 1985, and Rob himself commented that the audience just went ballistic. When interviewed, members of the audience commented that Robbie's performance was the first time of the night they could hear the audience singing at the back of the field.
Yeah.
The only way to get tickets to the London show was in a text lottery, which received 1.5 million texts on its first day.
Poof. That's a lot in those days.
Yeah.
Backstage, hours before his performance, Rob asked TV presenter Fern Cotton out live on air in an interview after hearing that she was newly single. A bit cringeable watching that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now a huge TV and radio presenter and married to husband Jesse Wood, son of Rolling Stone Ronnie Wood since 2014, Fern recently talked about that moment to the Times, saying it was surreal. When Robbie Williams asked me out on air, I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I was so young. I've always had a slight out-of-body experience when anything surreal happens like that. It's one of the things I'll bore the grandkids stiff about, pretending that I used to be cool. I've known Robbie a long time, and we're friends now. Rob revealed that a terrified-looking David Beckham helped him get over his nerves before his first major live performance in the UK for 2 years. He said his nerves melted when he saw the England football captain fretting about introducing him at Live 8. Speaking on Friday Night with Jonathan Ross, Rob said, I was so scared. I spent the whole day in the cabin. I got on stage and David looked more scared than me, and I got a perverse joy out of that. He's a big hero of mine. Just before we go into talking about that, when we watched it in preparation for this, when David Beckham sort of fluffs up the introduction a little bit.
Bad,
It's like, oh, in a minute he might introduce him. Then he says another sentence and another sentence. And then they pan across to Rob, and Rob's in the wings, and he's got the biggest smile on his face. So he might have been shitting himself, but he just looked ecstatic.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
He was just, his eyes were like shining. He was just so there, wasn't he? Even if he was crapping himself. But, yeah. So,
did you happen to go to Live 8?
I didn't, and I remember trying to get tickets, but I didn't get to go.
Yeah.
But I do remember watching it on TV.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it so Dave and I, my husband, had just moved into our very first house together.
Yeah.
After being in a little flat, and I remember watching it and just being like, "Wow, this is incredible."
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine trying to get Barrier there, right?
I know. I was thinking that.
no.
no way. But so it's huge events like that. I mean, Nebworth was big, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, this was just off the scale.
Yeah,
right?
all those celebrities.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. But no, I do remember watching it when they popped it on the TV, and just I remember thinking like, "Go, Rob, do it!"
Yeah,
show them what you're made of, sort of thing, right?
Yeah, because it was being beamed around the world, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I still think some people just still kind of so underrate him, and he's got the stats right.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't. He's great, right? I mean, maybe not so much then. He still had a lot to prove, but I mean, Christ, if that's the way to prove yourself, then he did it, right?
Yeah.
So, and like you say, all the comments of being able to hear people at the back of the concert for the first time in the evening, and he's just incredible, right? And the journey that he's gone through, it's just been great.
Yeah. I was so jealous. A girl that I worked with managed to get tickets, and I was gutted. Yeah, that she was there, and I was watching it on TV.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you have to be pretty lucky to get tickets to that. The likes of kind of Madonna.
Yeah. Can't even remember who else was there, but I know Madonna was.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it at my grandma's house with my mum as well, because it was Matt's stag do that weekend.
Oh my God. No
Yeah.
way. That's so funny.
So I went to.
So I definitely
my
wasn't watching
clone.
it live.
No.
From what I don't. From
no,
what I
that
don't,
would have been a bit weird.
from what I don't remember about the stag do, but yeah, not in Budapest.
Yeah,
I
come on,
wouldn't have been
boys. Let's go and watch live, mate.
No.
Yeah. I drove all the way across London. I remember watching it at home where I lived, and thinking, I don't know what time Robbie's on. If I get in the car and drive to my grand's, am I going to miss him? And
Ooh.
it was a big dilemma. But yeah, I got in the car and drove across London and went to her house, and thankfully, he was on late, so that was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I just Googled it actually. There was Coldplay, Dido, Paul McCartney, Pink Floyd, Scissor Sisters, The Killers, Madonna, The Who.
Wow.
The Who, I mean, and Elton John.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Amazing.
Seriously. And Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Good job.
And he smashed it.
Yeah, he did. I love how he jumped down onto the went to the front barrier, past all the millions of photographers that were there. I wonder whether any of the other acts did that. I can't remember, but he really knows how to get the crowd going, get them involved.
There's a couple of moments where I didn't think he was going to make it quite back up onto the main stage.
Yeah.
But, he kind of belly flopped up and managed to pull himself up there. But yeah, he loves being down. Because there was quite a distance between, it's typical, that huge distance between the crowd and the stage. And it was quite high as well, wasn't it? So I think he just felt a bit disconnected and wanted to get down there.
Yeah, because there's the bank of photographers, must have been about 200 of them.
There was hundreds of them.
Between him and the crowd. So he probably just wanted to get past all those annoying photographers and actually get to the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a little bit of a kind of a blanket for me, like a comfort blanket. The people in the front row that potentially might know him. I mean, not necessarily then, but he kind of needs that comfort from the crowd.
Yeah.
They were showing him a lot of love.
To recognise that he's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's quite funny when one girl grabbed him, he said, "Ow!" Yeah.
Yes, there was a lot of grabbing going on.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Good. So we've got to that part of the podcast where we have to each pick our favourite song to go on our playlist.
Okay.
And then you can find it on robbiewilliamsrewind.com.
Yeah.
So.
Do you want to go first, Sarah?
Yes, guests first.
Oh, this is so difficult. Well, it's actually from this
episode.
From
podcast.
everything we've talked about tonight. Yeah, today. So
okay, right, okay. I'm going to go with The Postcard.
Oh, good choice. Yeah, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely song. Beautifully sung.
Yeah. Matt, what are you picking?
Well, it's a good job that the two of you aren't here physically to beat me up, because I'm going to go for Northern Town.
Oh, God.
Northern Town needs a bit more airplay. Very underrated. And that's going to go on the playlist.
I can't believe that's going on the playlist,
God.
man. I'm going to have to skip it.
Well, look, Robbie is an eclectic songwriter and performer. So you have to kind of, anyway. We don't all have to like everything.
No,
do
we don't.
So that's
It's
okay. And you, Lucy, what would you like to put on the playlist?
Well, I'm sort of a bit torn between Radio and 1974. I'm
1974.
Sure, yeah, I knew you'd
Why?
say that, Sarah.
That's interesting, because I thought you were going to pick 1974 because you love the 80s and all that.
Yeah.
You love it when he talks about that era.
Yeah, I do.
So, but why are you torn on Radio then?
Oh, because I just think it's unloved and it needs a bit more airtime as well. And I think it's a great crowd pleaser when he actually does play it. So
obviously our show, Sarah, has millions and millions of listeners. So
God, yeah.
the airtime, sway that we carry is just so big that we can change the world. But well, not quite.
I'll go with Radio. I'll stick with that.
You are?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Radio.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Bold choice. Because
Yeah.
there's still a voice in your head saying you want
Yeah, there is still a
1974.
voice in my head saying 1974, yeah.
Cool. So we've got Northern Town
Ugh.
radio and postcard.
Yeah, postcard
Yeah.
is amazing. Beautiful. That was on my short
Oh,
list as well.
I was torn between that and De Lovely, I have to say.
Right. I thought you were going to pick Misunderstood.
No, I think because more people know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
People know that already. So, yeah, it was that or De Lovely,
Right.
definitely.
And so before we go, Sarah, any other Robbie memories or stories that you wanted to share before we finish? You don't have to, but it's just giving you that opportunity just in case we haven't covered anything you wanted to talk about.
I remember being at dress rehearsal for the Heavy Entertainment show, you know, when we all got invited to dress rehearsal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Amanda and I wore these like T-shirts that said Mercy. Right, thank you.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
and hey, I remember in the chat after saying, "Did you see us wearing the Mercy T-shirts?" And he's like, "Oh my God, girls, I thought you were French," which was really fun. We were like, "No, it was us."
Of course he would
because
think you were
We
French.
decided to do the party at the back, right?
Yes, we did that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You was at the party in the back, and I ended up on Alan's back.
Did you? I
Um,
don't remember you
Oh
doing
God,
that.
yeah. I ended up like him giving me a piggyback, and then doing the conga at the
Yeah,
back.
that
Yeah.
was fun.
Like that's the only time I've ever like been so happy to be at the back,
Yeah, same.
because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And like Rob's mum was back there as well,
She
right,
was, yeah.
watching. And I
Mhm.
think she must have just thought we were all absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's used to it by now.
Yeah, but that was so good. 'Cause she had so much space up the back,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's
but we
it.
were still so close.
When you say the
Yeah.
back, it wasn't exactly the back. It was kind of the back of the front.
It was-
Yeah.
And there was
back
a
of
lot
the
of
front.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we all went to do the conga, and he ran over and he was like, "Yeah, the conga."
Yeah.
That was really cool. I really loved that as well.
Well, that is a
And like
classic
I think
memory.
like yeah, we went to Manchester and back in one day. Like drove up there the morning, drove back after the concert. Oh,
Oh,
my God.
really? Wow. Oh, we did at least stay one night.
Wow. That is dedication,
Yeah.
Sarah. And commitment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's just so many. You know, I could sit and think of like a ton more. I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah.
they're the ones that I've discussed are the ones that like really stand out.
right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Sarah, for being on the podcast
Yes.
with us.
Thank
We've had
you.
a great laugh with you, and it's nice recounting a few of the memories that we've had with you over the years, and hopefully we have many, many more. Hopefully we get you back in the UK at some point.
Yeah. Well, we
Or-
did catch up
Yes.
when we were in Vegas as well, didn't we? We had a good night there.
Yes, we did.
That was fun.
And maybe
Yeah,
we'll come
that,
back to
like,
Vegas
is
again.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Always, no. What's the word? What's the saying? Once a friendly, forever friendly, right?
Yes.
Yes. Is that a saying? I haven't heard that before.
It's
but
Sarah's saying.
That I like it.
Yeah, it's a new motto, right?
So, just before we wrap up this episode, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out. And also, Lucy and I would really appreciate it if you can leave us a star rating. You can do this on both Apple and Spotify podcasts. We would also love it if you could write us a short review, and you can do this on Apple. Don't forget, you can check out our episode notes for each episode and links to all tracks and videos at robbiewilliamsrewind.com. You can also email us at email@robbiewilliamsrewind.com. Please also follow and chat on our social channels. It's at RewindRobbie on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. And you can also like and follow our Facebook page, Robbie Williams Rewind. And before we return to this episode, you might also consider sending us one of your own Robbie stories for the show. Just record a short audio clip on your phone and email it to us. Please check the website for more details. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So before we say goodbye to Sarah, we'll just say that the next episode we'll be talking about intensive care with Angie from Scotland / Australia.
Yes.
So we look forward to that.
That'll be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you again, Sarah.
You are more than welcome. It's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
We've loved it. We'll hope to speak to you soon.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Robbie Williams Rewind.